Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanora Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. So we are doing the 11th chapter of Panchadasi related to the Brahmanande Vishayanandaha. So every ananda, every happiness that we get is due to the Brahmananda only. Essentially because I am withdrawing everything in those moments of even objective oriented happiness, where when I fulfill my desire, I am happy. In those states, you say, I don't say I am having happiness or I am experiencing happiness. All I say is I am happy. That means happiness is my nature, and that is recognized in those moments of fulfillment of desires. At that time, neither external nor or internal, because the moment at that time there is no thought other than fullness there, and that is essentially what real happiness is. So every happiness is only Advaita happiness, but even outside enjoying but I conclude that the happiness is coming from this object, that object, therefore I depend on that to get that state. That's called the slavery. I need that in order to arrive at this. If I can arrive that without that, then I am a jnani, because I realize that happiness is only coming from myself. This is where ajnanam, you can see that I know that there is no happiness in the object, but still I am going after the happiness, knowing very well there is no happiness there. This is what human problem is, that we are looking for happiness where it is not there, but we think that is happiness. So that's why in every you go Google and ask what is happiness, people have different theories there. But what is happiness is being described here. The happiness is your own self. It comes from your own self, but it is coming there into that state because the mind is fulfilled in those by particular objects. Therefore you say that's happiness, this is happiness, getting that happiness, doing as happiness, because you are longing for that and you will get that. And therefore any longing happiness is only momentarily, because mind is still you will be longing for something else, and that's where the problem is. Whereas even after getting tired of objective happiness, I want to go and rest. Why? I thought you were looking for happiness. Yes, I am looking for happiness in the objective world. So what's the problem with that? You want to happy, but in the objective world, happiness involves three problems. One is it is dukkha misritatvam. I am trying to get the happiness. There is an effort involved. So I have to suffer to get it. I have to suffer and concerned about preserving that happiness. Okay, it's going to go. And also I have preserved if it lost also. So gaining happiness is a problem, and preserving that happiness is a problem, and losing that happiness will be another problem. And this is true with every objective happiness. So however rich you are worried now because you want the wealth to be secure. Now you are worried about the security of the wealth that you have acquired. So it's not giving you security now, because you want to put it here, to put it there, and all other places you have to pay taxes. All these problems are coming in, and therefore this happiness that are object oriented involves a struggle, that is dukkha misritatvam. Then second problem is asantruptikaram, because every object is finite, therefore you get only finite moments of that until another finite object you want. Therefore every object oriented happiness is limited by itself, because the object itself is limited, and therefore the desire for it, once you have it, the mind wants something else. So I have been looking for hot milk. Once I have hot milk, I want a cookie with that. So I want this with that, I want that with that. And this is what every experiential happiness. So people go to different places to enjoy. Oh, that was so beautiful. So when you go there, it's so beautiful. I wish my wife is also here. Next time when I come, I want to bring my wife. So you, next time you take your wife for the same experience. So when you go there, she will be seeing that for the first time and enjoying it, but you will be comparing this enjoyment, oh, last time it was even better. Why? Your mind is not enjoying the object, your mind is comparing this with respect to the previous one. So this coffee is better than that coffee, or this is better than the other coffee. All these comparisons occur because the mind is preoccupied in comparing rather than enjoying. That's what the object-oriented happiness, and therefore that you get tired of it, and therefore you want to get sleep, and the sleep is you are longing for happiness without any objects, and that is called either bahyam na antaram. No problems of outside, no problems of inside. Emotional problems are also not there, and that's being continued in the next sloka. The thought. Pita visuptavapiteti, pita pisuptavapiteti, adau jivatva varanat, suptau brahmaivano jivaha, suptai brahmaivano jivaha, samsaritva samichanat, together. Pita pisuptavapiteti, adau jivatva varanat, suptau brahmaivano jivaha, samsaritva samichanat. So in the suptau, in the deep sleep state, pita or apita, there is neither father or absence of father. So father or not father. Iti adau. So whether the father is there, not father is there. None of them is either external or internal. Now, either external father looking for, I want to depend upon father, but once you go to sleep, no father, no mother, na pita, no relations of anything, no wife also, no husband also, no nothing also, because I am enjoying as I am without any other external, internal relationships. And that's fine. Na pita api, pita supta, suptao apitadau adau jivatvaranam. So suptao pita api apita is not father, iti adau, etc. That means including all relationships, including everything. I am neither a father, nor a son, nor wife, nor a husband, nor any relationships, and I am not even a citizen, employee, or any of the relationships, and none of that it is. I am by myself without any duality, and that's why it is essentially jivatva varanat. So that iti adau jivatva varanat. So negation of all jiva bhavana. I am even a jiva is not there notion. In that deep sleep state, because limitations of myself, jiva means the one who thinks I am limited. That concept is also not there in that state. It is only in the potential form, hidden there. So even though the ahankara is not there, but it is there in the subtle form only. So jivatva varanat, suptau brahmaiva no jivaha. So in the suptau, in the deep sleep state, brahma eva, only Brahman is there, na jivaha. So there is no jiva at all. Suptau, so na jiva. Suptau in the deep sleep state, samsaritvam, being a samsari, asamichanat, and it's not being possible. Jivaha, no, it's not. There is only no jiva notion at all, no samsaram, no nothing. It is unadulterated, pure, nothing but existence alone, along with the ignorance. But ignorance also, I do not know that I am ignorant also, because for that mind is required. So obviously the ignorance is also, that knowledge of the ignorance is also covered, and that is what essentially Brahma eva. That means what is there? It is a mind, pure mind, unfolded now, whatever the conditions of the mind, as it is folded. A knowledgeable mind is folded as a knowledgeable mind. A chemistry professor sleeps as a chemistry professor only, not ignorant professor. But at that time, everything is folded, so you cannot ask him anything about chemistry. He won't know, because he is not conscious of his chemistry knowledge. He is not conscious of any object knowledge. He is not conscious of is a father, mother, every relationship is not there, and he is not even conscious of the absence of everything. This is just akhanda jnana akara vritti that he is going to describe. But what is there is only Brahman. Pure reflection of Satchidananda is always there, which you call it the witnessing consciousness. That's always there, but it's not reflected, it's only reflected consciousness in the jiva. So upahita chaitanyam. So the presence of the absence of all objective knowledge is not there. It's only constant awareness of aham brahmasmi, or that also knowledge is not there. So a jivan mukta also sleeps as a jivan mukta. An ignorant person also sleeps as an ignorant person. So all these notions essentially are at the level of mind, but the mind itself is folded. So no relations of any kind also. So asamichanat, being not possible, jivaha na'u, not even a jiva, only Brahma eva, only pure Advaitic. Advaitic means non-dual nature of the Brahman alone is there in the deep sleep state. So even in the Jnani also doesn't have any relationships from the Jnanam point, but the transactional point he has. So Napita, Navguru, all the slokas, the Nirvana Shatakam is there. So that doesn't mean that he has no father, no mother. But in and through every father and every mother, he sees the truth. Therefore, from that absolute point, from the point of there is no ring and there is no bangle, there is no necklace, while using bangle, while using necklace, and while that. If I say that, what I am saying is only gold only, but gold in the form of a ring. So we just charted the sloka before. It says Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amadeva Deva. So this is actually the sloka is by the Gandhari is the one who in the Mahabharata, through Gandhari this sloka is being expressed in Mahabharata. But here, what is that say? Tvameva Mata, you are father, you are mother, you are this one. That's how this sloka normally is interpreted. So Tvam Eva Mata, you are alone is my mother, you are alone is my father. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva. Tvameva, you are all relationship also you are. So this is Bhakti, everything is you only for me. This is from the Bhakti point. But for Jnanam point, the same sloka is Tvameva Mata. That means in the Mata, Tvam Eva. So I am seeing you in my mother, but I am not seeing mother anymore. I am seeing you only in the form of a mother. I am seeing gold in the form of a ring. I am seeing gold in the form of a bangle. Same way, I am seeing you, hey Brahman, in the form of my mother, in the form of my father, in the form of all my friends, in the form of Tvameva Mata Sapita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhusya Sakha Tvameva, in the form of my friend, and Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva, in the form of a knowledge also you are expressing itself. So people ask me, why are you worried, why are you interested in science? You should withdraw from science and concentrate on that. Why you have to withdraw from anywhere? Because everything is nothing but Brahman. Tvameva Sarvam. You are everything, because everything himself became him only. That becomes a knowledge. That becomes essentially, I don't have to close the eyes. I don't have to close anywhere. I don't have to go to temple or going to do anything, because if I can see everything him only, that is what is essentially implication of that. So my knowledge-wise, I can withdraw all forms and relationships from the point of knowledge. From the point of transactions, still, father is father, mother is mother, and student is student, and so on. So in an interesting story, Gurudev used to tell, the Miss Swami Chinmayananda used to tell, that the brahmachari training course, that the brahmacharis are being trained in terms of this Advaita knowledge, and they have learned this sloka. There is no mother, there is no father, there is no so na pita, na father, na guru, and so on. And they think that they are all realized, and they so you go back in the vacation, go to your mother, and says, so what should I do with the mother? You are asking the teacher. So what do you mean? What do you have to do with her? Because there is no mother. You stupid fellow! If that is the knowledge, let's see. So he told the kitchen people, don't cook for brahmacharis today. Okay, so these guys are all in the Advaita knowledge and all that, and then suddenly lunchtime came. They went to the dining hall for lunch. There is no lunch there. So what is happening? So they all went to Gurudev and said, sir, there is no lunch today at all. Why do you need a lunch? You are Brahman. You are saying there is no lunch, there is no food. So you are dwelling in that. Now you don't need a lunch anymore. Then they understood. So knowledge is one thing. Transactionally is another thing. So when you see a teacher is still teacher. In the Viveka Chudamani, after gaining knowledge, the student praise the teacher and prostrate to the teacher. Because of you only I am able to see the highest knowledge. Because this is the liberating knowledge, not any other knowledge. Liberating knowledge, because this is the essence of life itself, and you have fulfilled. Therefore, Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva. So teacher also becomes the equivalent to the Lord, and that's what is chanted also. So here we have to be careful when you say no Pita, no Father. But in the deep sleep state, when you go, there is a covering of Avarana Shakti. Everything is covered. That means every duality is covered, because the duality is coming from the mind. Therefore it is covered. Therefore there is no concept or there is no cognition of I am a subject, this is an object, and my relationships and all that. Therefore there is no Pita. What is there is folded mind. When the mind is folded, what is there is pure existence and reflection of the existence and reflection of the consciousness, because even though mind is folded, the prana is still there, life is still there, the physiological functions are going on, so life is still there, and also that mind which is calm and quiet, there is no subject object duality, and that ananda is reflected. Since there is no knowledge of subject object duality, there is ajnana is there. So I am a jiva notion is also not there in that, and that's what is essentially only is Brahman is there. Now the 57. Pitruttvajabhimano yaha Pitruttvajabhimano yaha Sukha dukkha karah saha Sukha dukkha karah saha Tasmin apragate tirnaha Sarvan sokam bhavat yayam Sarvan sokam bhavat yayam. Together, Pitruttvajabhimano yaha Sukha dukkha karah saha Tasmin apragate tirnaha Sarvan sokam bhavat yayam. Yaha, that Pitrutvadi, that means being a father, etc., being a father or concerning recognition of a father, etc. Pitrutva adi. So one being a father, that means with the children and all that. Abhimanaha, that which is the conditioning that I am a father to my child, I am a husband to my adi means including all relationships. I am a son to my father, I am a husband to this, and this is with respect to mother and husband, wife, all relationships. That is called abhimanam, conditioning. Saha, that conditioning, he is sukha dukkha karaha. That is the source of happiness and suffering also. For all relationships is a problem, and relationships give you pleasure as well as the happiness, sukham, as well as unhappiness also, and that's because of relationships. If you don't have any relation, then you are free. That's what is the so-called external sannyasa is meant for, cutting off all the relationships other than a general relationship of everyone is nothing but the the incarnation of the Lord only. That is the vision that a sannyasi should have. So that is a bhautika sannyasi. So this is essentially sukha dukkha karaha tasmin apagate. When the condition is not there, I am this jivaha sarvan sokan tirnaha bhavati. He crosses all sorrows at all. Because the sorrow comes from the duality. Sorrow comes from the relationships. Relationship only exists because there is two things related. One cannot relate to oneself because oneself is oneself. That's it. Relation involves the recognition of duality, and that is the cause for all problems. And therefore no problems are there, therefore there is no dukkham, therefore it is complete happiness in that state. That's what essentially implication of the deep sleep state. We'll go to 58. Sushuptikale sakale sushuptikale sakale viline tamasavruta sukarupamupayiteti bhrute hyadharvani sruti atharvani bhutehi atharvani sruti sukarupamupayiteti bhute hyadharvani sruti. Okay, together. Sushuptikale sakale vilini tamasavruta sukarupamupayititi bhrute hyadharvani srutihi. So atharvani sruti is essentially the Upanishad. Here we are talking about Kaivalya Upanishad. So in the Kaivalya Upanishad, in the 13th mantra, this has been stated here, and it says Sushuptikale sakale. Sushuptikale, in the deep sleep state, sakale viline, when total waking and dream states are dissolved, because I go to deep sleep state, there is no more waking state and there is no more dream state. And Sushuptikale, in the deep sleep state, tamasa, by ignorance, is covering, the avrutaha, covered. So that's what we said, the ignorance covers. So because I don't know is the one that is covering, avrutaha, covered. Sukarupam, the nature of the bliss, upayiti, jiva attains, itihi is indeed, bhrute is said in the Atharvani Sruti, in the Kaivalya Upanishad. So here he is referring to the Kaivalya Upanishad, says this is a scriptural statement supported by scripture, where in the deep sleep state, where during the deep sleep state everything is avarana, covered, and what is there is essentially pure Brahman reflected in the consciousness. So Sushuptikale, in the deep sleep state, Sakale Viline, all the waking and dream states are covered, avarane, by tamasa, by the ignorance. This is true for both the jnani and ajnani. So in the jnani, it is what is covered? Is there tamasa? It is tamasa, ignorance of what? Ignorance of not himself, ignorance of the subject-object duality. Just as when a chemistry professor, chemistry jnani, sleeps, and their ignorance, tamasa, is covering the subject-object relationships in the dream. So he is not going to lose the chemistry knowledge. It's only temporarily closed. The door is closed, and that is closing of the door is what is called covering. That means the mind is no more actively involved in the subject-object duality. So mind itself is folded. So the ignorance is the absence of, or the absence of, or the presence of the absence of, or the absence of the knowledge of the subject-object duality, irrespective of the knowledge is not lost. Knowledge is in the potential form. So when the jnani sleeps, how does he sleep? He only folding his transactional knowledge of subject-object relationship. There is no guru, there is no student in the, even though jnani, he was a teacher, there is no more teaching, no more student, no more gurukula, and no more ashram. What is there is I am pure Brahman in that state. And Jnani identifying with that is enjoying, but no expression of that because the mind is not there. So one has to be careful here. It says Jnani sleeps as Ajnani, Ajnani sleeps as Ajnani. And both will say that I did not know anything. Means anything is not there. Thing means objective knowledge is not there. Therefore subject who know knowledge of the objective knowledge is also not there. So for Ajnani sleeps as Ajnani and Jnani sleeps as Jnani. The chemistry professor sleeps as chemistry professor. Ignorant of chemistry also sleeps as ignorant of chemistry also. So exactly our covering up everything at the transactional level. That's what essentially what he said in the Atharvani Sruti, in the Kaivalyopanishad. The next sloka is 59. Sukama swapsamatraham, Sukama swapsamatraham, Vaikinchi devedisham, Vaikinchi devedisham, Iti supte sukha jnani, Iti supte sukha jnani, Paramrushati chottitaha, Paramrushati chottitaha. Together. Sukama swapsumatraham, Vaikinchi devedisham, Iti supte sukha jnani, Paramrushati Paramamrusati chottitaha. Remember, mouth is not turning around. Uttitaha, that is once the awakened person. Aham atra, so this is a statement by a waker. Once he gets up, aham atra, I am in the deep sleep state. Sukham apswapsam. So Sukham, I enjoyed the deep sleep state. Sukham is the pleasures of the deep sleep state. I enjoyed. That's what it means. I was happy. Sukham apswapsa, happily slept. Navai, so not indeed. Kinchid avedisham, so know anything of that. I do not know anything because all things are also covered. There is no world of plurality. It is pure Advaitic state. So no duality whatsoever. And therefore I am happy. So in fact, nature is providing a statement here that because of the absence of any duality, I am completely happy. So Ditiyadvaya Bhayam Bhavati. Only the fear comes. Fear means all other problems come only by the duality. So Advaitic nature is, one is experiencing Advaitic nature. So it's not the lack of experience of Advaita, but what is there is, I am Advaiting, Aham Brahmasmi, lack of knowledge of Advaita is what is. So it's not experiential, I am experiencing Brahman. There is never a time you are not experiencing Brahman. Only mind is turned inward and that is now outward, and you think the Brahman is not there. Brahman is what you are seeing is only Brahman only, but you think I am seeing this. Because paying attention to external attributive content which has really no permanent value because it's only mithya. So you're getting carried away. So in the deep sleep state, no objective oriented knowledge at all, no object oriented happiness also. What is there is pure happiness. That's my nature. So Sukham aswapsau. So tadaha, in the awakened person, aham atra sukham apsasu. I slept very well and I am very happy. I did not know anything. Now I say indeed kinchid avedisham. I don't know anything. Anything means no thing, knowledge of any objective knowledge. That is internal or external objective knowledge. Kinchid aveditam. Avedisham. Iti supte, in the deep sleep state, sukham ajnane paramrusati. So therefore this is how the statement is. In the deep sleep state, sukham ajnane, blessed by the ignorance of the duality, there is a dukkham is not there. Therefore I am sukham. It is the absence of the duality, absence of suffering. So everybody wants, whether it's a rogi or arogi, whether it's a healthy person or or one who enjoying everything, or one who is suffering also in the world, he also enjoys the deep sleep state. And Parasrutihi, he remembers that I don't know anything, but I enjoy. This he remembers. Who remembers? The one who slept. I slept very well, I didn't know anything, I had a good sleep. And that's a statement. Why? So how do you know slept? It is the mind that is making a statement. From the mind point, it may sound like an inferential, but the absence of the duality itself is recognized in that, because absence of suffering, therefore I was happy and I did not know anything, including space and time also. We'll go into this more in terms of exhaustive analysis of the sleep state is going to be given in this chapter, and we will cover that next. With this we stop. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.